Deep within the Caucasus Mountains, where veins of metal ran hot and the earth groaned with pressure, the keepers rarely ventured. It was a place of turbulence where the harmony of the grid faltered, where dissonant echoes pooled like stagnant water. For centuries, the keepers treated it as a scar upon the planet's body, a wound they could not yet heal. But in those hidden caverns, the earth itself was not idle. The bowels of the mountains became laboratories of shadow. Here, the raw materials of creation mixed: molten stone, heavy metals, poisonous vapors, and fractured currents of energy. The harmony of the grid did not reach into those chambers. Instead, there was a swirling cauldron of imbalance, a crucible in which something unnatural could take form. From these conditions, a seed began to form, not a seed of plant or tree, but a seed of alchemy. Pressures unimaginable forced minerals into patterns, while stray sparks of ether twisted through cracks in the rock. What was harmony elsewhere became dissonance here, and the dissonance condensed into matter. This was no accident. It was a kind of inverted alchemy, the Earth's hidden chemistry birthing its own counterforce. The seed pulsed like a heart. Within it, elements collided: sulfur, mercury, salt, ancient essences of alchemy that philosophers would later try to imitate in their crude laboratories. But here in the mountain's depths, the reaction was alive. Over centuries, layer upon layer grew around a core of crystallized disharmony. The seed drank from the currents of imbalance, swelling until at last it split. From its fissures came not sparks or smoke, but flesh. Two beings crawled forth. They were pale, translucent almost, their skin thin as wax, their eyes unfocused. They were fragile compared to the children of the sun, but alive nonetheless. And this was the greatest alchemy of all. Not the transmutation of metal to gold, but the transmutation of imbalance into life. The keepers later said that the seed was the Earth's own experiment, the planet testing what would happen if harmony's opposite was given form. Others believed something more sinister, that long before, a fragment of knowledge had fallen into the earth, a shard of corrupted wisdom from elsewhere in the cosmos, and the mountain incubated it like an egg. Whatever its origin, the result was the same. The two pale beings were not nurtured by light. They could not feast on the sun. They could not drink ether without pain. Their bodies were born of mineral and shadow, and so their sustenance became control. Where the keepers grew strong and balanced, the Paleborn grew cunning and imbalance. They discovered they could manipulate the currents that had birthed them, not to heal, but to bend, to twist, to dominate. Their very existence was alchemical, flesh woven from rock, breath distilled from poisonous vapors, thought sparked from fractured energy fields. They were, in essence, transmuted disharmony given human shape. Their creation was proof that life could be born not only from light but from distortion. As they multiplied, their offspring inherited the same pale skin, the same hunger for power. In secret, they learned to shape crude forms of alchemy themselves, mixing minerals and vapors, attempting to replicate the process that had birthed them. Though they could not create life anew, they learned to alter what already lived. They experimented with plants, with animals, even with fragments of the keepers' abandoned tools. Each experiment fed their growing knowledge of corruption, and so the Paleborn were not simply accidents of geology. They were the result of alchemy in its purest, most dangerous form, the marriage of imbalance, matter, and energy in the bowels of the earth. They were living proof that where harmony reigns, life flourishes, but where disharmony festers, life can still emerge, twisted, hungry, and bent toward domination. That is why their skin carried no warmth, why their eyes reflected cold, why their spirits craved power above all. They were not born under the sun. They were forged in the crucible of shadow. They were children of alchemy, the distorted offspring of the earth's deepest wound.